chosen ones, listen closely. December 14th is not an ordinary day. Today, the universe is shifting in your favor, unlocking 7 powerful miracles that will change your life forever. If you've been struggling, waiting, or feeling unseen, this is the exact moment everything begins to realign. Doors you thought were closed will open. Opportunities you didn't even know existed will find you. And the version of yourself you've been waiting to become is finally ready to step forward. You cannot afford to scroll past this. It's happening right now, and it's happening for you. Before we reveal all 7 miracles, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single life-changing insight. Comment below, "I'm ready," if you want to receive this energy fully today. And stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to step into this new chapter and align with the blessings waiting just for you. For a long time, it felt like you were pushing against something you could not see or name. Every step forward required twice the effort. Progress came slowly, if at all. You questioned your timing, your decisions, even your worth. Yet deep down, you sensed that the struggle was not coming from a lack of ability or intention. Something invisible was pressing back. This was silent resistance. Silent resistance does not announce itself with failure or chaos. It works quietly. It shows up as delays that make no sense, misunderstandings that distort your words, and opportunities that almost happen but never quite materialize. You put in the work, you stayed consistent, you did what was asked of you, and still, the path felt blocked. This was not bad luck. It was not punishment. It was not proof that you were on the wrong path. It was resistance designed to refine you rather than break you. Every delay strengthened your patience. Every closed door forced you to rely less on external validation and more on inner certainty. Every moment of being misunderstood sharpened your ability to stand alone in your truth. December 14th marks the moment this resistance collapses. Not dramatically, not with noise or spectacle. It dissolves quietly, the same way it existed. You may not notice it immediately, but you will feel it. The heaviness begins to lift. The constant friction eases. What once felt forced starts flowing again. Conversations that went nowhere suddenly take a different tone. People listen more closely. Responses arrive without repeated follow-ups. Situations that felt stuck begin to move, sometimes without any additional effort from you. It feels almost unreal, as if life has changed its attitude toward you overnight. The reason is simple. Timing has finally aligned. There are seasons when pushing harder only creates more resistance. You were not meant to break through earlier. You were meant to arrive at this point prepared, stable, and grounded enough to handle what comes next. Now that preparation is complete, the pressure lifts.
The miracle here is subtle but profound. Life stops fighting you. You stop waking up with that low-level tension in your chest. You feel lighter without a clear explanation. Your thoughts become more organized. Decisions that once triggered anxiety now feel straightforward. You are no longer debating every move or seeking constant reassurance. Second-guessing fades because clarity replaces it. You begin trusting your instincts again, not out of hope, but out of evidence. Things start working. Not perfectly, but consistently enough to restore your confidence. You realize that the resistance was never permanent. It was temporary, purposeful, and now complete. This shift also changes how others respond to you. People who once dismissed you begin observing more closely, not because you demanded attention, but because your energy has changed. There is less urgency, less force, and more quiet authority in the way you move through situations. You are no longer trying to prove yourself. You are simply showing up aligned. And alignment is powerful. When resistance ends, effort multiplies. Small actions produce real results. Momentum builds naturally. You are not chasing outcomes anymore. You are allowing them to meet you halfway. This is how you know the current has turned in your favor. Not because everything suddenly becomes easy, but because nothing feels needlessly heavy anymore. The struggle loses its grip. The path opens just enough for you to move forward without strain. December 14th does not mark the start of your effort. It marks the end of unnecessary struggle. From this point forward, your energy is no longer wasted on pushing against what was never meant to open before. Now, you move with life instead of against it, and that changes everything. Chosen ones often believe they missed their chance. They look back at certain moments and wonder if one different decision could have changed everything. But the truth is simpler and more precise. The door was never visible until the exact moment they were ready to walk through it. December 14th is that moment. This is not about luck suddenly favoring you. It is about alignment finally being complete. Until now, the door remained hidden because stepping through it earlier would have led you into confusion, overwhelm, or the wrong version of success. You needed experience, discernment, and emotional strength before this path could safely open. Now it does. The hidden door rarely arrives with noise or drama. It often enters quietly, almost casually, which is why many people overlook it. But chosen ones feel the difference immediately. There is a sense of recognition, a calm certainty that does not require outside approval. This door may appear as a sudden idea that feels unlike your usual thinking. It does not feel forced or desperate. Instead, it feels natural, as if it has been waiting patiently for you to notice it. The idea may seem simple at first, but it carries depth and long-term potential. It may show up as a message, call, or invitation that feels strangely timed. Someone reaches out after a long silence. An opportunity resurfaces when you least expect it. The timing feels intentional, almost too precise to be random. For some, the door appears as a realization that instantly reshapes how you see your future. You recognize that a path you were chasing no longer fits, while another path suddenly makes sense. This realization brings relief, not fear. It feels like clarity rather than pressure. For others, the door is an unexpected chance connected to something you once walked away from. A skill, dream, or interest you thought was over returns with new relevance. This time, it feels different because you are different. What makes this miracle powerful is not the size of the opportunity. It is the alignment behind it. When you step toward this door, you do not feel anxious or rushed. You feel ready. There is an internal confirmation that does not rely on logic alone. Something inside you says, quietly but firmly, this is it. This is where many chosen ones hesitate. Past disappointments trained you to be cautious. You learned not to trust easily. You learned to protect your energy. But this door does not demand force, sacrifice, or self-betrayal. It does not require you to prove yourself or chase approval. It opens because you are prepared to walk through it with clarity and self-respect. Ignoring this moment does not mean the door disappears forever, but it does mean the momentum fades. Alignment windows are real. When they open, movement matters, not frantic action, but intentional choice. December 14th invites you to move forward without fear. You are not stepping into the unknown blindly. You are stepping into something that recognizes you just as much as you recognize it. The door opens not because you pushed harder, but because you finally became the person who could walk through it without losing yourself. That is the miracle. One of the heaviest burdens chosen ones carry is emotional exhaustion. This is not the kind of tiredness that sleep can fix. It is the deep, constant fatigue that comes from carrying invisible weight, responsibility, expectation, and the energy of everyone around you. It comes from staying strong when no one noticed, from offering support even when it drained you, and from navigating life while feeling misunderstood or overlooked. For years, you may have wondered if this exhaustion was your fault, or if it was just how life had to be. December 14th brings the shift. It brings emotional release, not as a sudden erasure of your past, but as a softening of its hold over you. The experiences that once replayed endlessly in your mind no longer trigger the same reactions. Memories that used to spark frustration, regret, or pain lose their intensity. Situations you have carried in your mind for years begin to fade in emotional weight. Triggers that once made you react impulsively now meet you with calm, measured responses. This miracle does not erase lessons or experiences. It realigns how you relate to them. Where once you felt trapped in cycles of reliving old pain, you now move through life with lighter energy. For some, this manifests as a newfound peace, a sense of stillness in the mind and body. The constant tension eases, and you feel grounded in a way you have not before. For others, the release brings clarity. Situations that once felt confusing or heavy now make sense. You recognize patterns in your relationships, choices, and interactions that were invisible before. With this clarity comes wisdom, the ability to respond rather than react, to see opportunities in what used to feel like setbacks, and to make decisions from a place of balance rather than anxiety. For many, this emotional lifting includes forgiveness, not for others, but for yourself. You release the self-blame, the guilt, and the internalized pressure that you have carried for far too long. This is a critical part of stepping into a new timeline because you cannot move forward while still dragging the remnants of past hurt. It is important to understand that this lightness is not weakness. Emotional release is not surrender or defeat. On the contrary, it is preparation. It is the way life ensures you are ready to carry the next stage of your journey without old burdens weighing you down. December 14th marks the moment when the energy of endurance transitions into the energy of elevation. When you feel this shift, you may notice subtle changes in your daily interactions. Conversations feel less draining. Decisions feel less complicated. Your mind is quieter, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. Relationships that once exhausted you become clearer, and the path forward appears less cluttered. The lifting of emotional weight signals that you are ready to step into a new phase of your life, ready to receive what has been waiting for you, and ready to move with confidence rather than hesitation. December 14th is not just a date, it is a turning point where the emotional burdens of the past finally loosen, allowing the chosen ones to rise lighter, clearer, and stronger than ever before. One of the heaviest burdens chosen ones carry is emotional exhaustion. This is not ordinary fatigue, it is a deep, persistent weight that wears on the mind, body, and spirit. It comes from carrying more than your fair share of responsibility, from being strong when everyone around you expected you to be unshakable, and from giving your energy to people and situations that never reciprocated. It comes from holding yourself together while no one noticed, and from understanding others when no one sought to understand you. Over time, this exhaustion becomes layered, almost invisible, but always present. It colors your perception, clouds your judgment, and weighs down your decisions. December 14th brings a shift, a miracle of emotional release. This is not a sudden erasure of past experiences or a magical removal of pain. Rather, it is the moment when your emotional baggage stops controlling your reactions. The memories, mistakes, and moments that have haunted you lose their power. Old triggers that once prompted frustration, anger, or anxiety begin to soften. You no longer replay certain painful scenarios in your mind endlessly, as if stuck in a loop. Instead, these experiences become part of your story without defining your present. For some, this release manifests as peace. The constant inner tension that felt like an invisible weight suddenly eases. You feel grounded, calm, and able to navigate life without the constant pressure that once defined your days. You begin to notice that small things no longer trigger disproportionate responses, and the world feels less chaotic, less urgent, and more manageable.
For others, the shift brings clarity. Patterns that were invisible before now stand out clearly. Decisions that once seemed confusing become straightforward. You see relationships, opportunities, and obstacles in a new light. This clarity allows you to move with intention rather than reacting blindly to external pressures. You gain insight into your own needs, your goals, and your boundaries, making it easier to protect your energy and make choices that truly serve you. For many, the miracle includes forgiveness, but not for others. This is the critical step of forgiving yourself. You release self-blame, guilt, and the harsh internal judgments you have carried for years. You recognize that you did the best you could with the knowledge and tools available at the time. Letting go of self-criticism frees your mind and soul to move into a new chapter, unburdened by unnecessary regret. This emotional lightness is not a sign of weakness. It is preparation. You cannot carry old weight into a new timeline and expect to move forward fully. December 14th signals the moment when endurance transitions into elevation. You are ready to step into a new phase of life without dragging past struggles behind you. After this shift, you will notice subtle changes in daily life. Conversations feel less draining. Decisions feel less complicated. Your energy feels cleaner and your focus sharper. Relationships that once exhausted you no longer dominate your emotional landscape. You are lighter, freer, and better equipped to navigate what comes next. The lifting of this emotional weight is transformative. It is the quiet reset that prepares the chosen ones to rise stronger, clearer, and more capable than ever before. December 14th is the day the burden lifts, leaving space for growth, opportunity, and alignment with your highest path. After December 14th, chosen ones begin to notice a quiet but unmistakable shift in perception. The world does not change on the surface, but the way you experience it does. You start sensing things before they fully unfold. Situations reveal their truth more quickly. People's intentions become easier to read. What once felt confusing now feels obvious. This is not imagination. This is the activation of discernment. For a long time, you relied on logic, patience, and external feedback to make decisions. You weighed options carefully, often overthinking and revisiting the same choices again and again. That phase was necessary for growth. But after December 14th, something changes. You no longer need excessive analysis to feel certain. You know when to speak and when silence is more powerful. You recognize when a conversation is productive and when it is designed to drain you. You sense dishonesty, manipulation, or misalignment instantly without needing proof or explanation. This awareness does not come with anger or judgment. It arrives as calm certainty. One of the biggest shifts is that you stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand you. You recognize that not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, plans, or energy. This alone saves you from countless future frustrations. You no longer chase approval or try to convince others of your vision. This is the miracle of activated discernment. You are no longer guessing. You are no longer moving based on hope alone. Decisions that once took weeks of mental debate now take minutes, sometimes seconds. There is an internal signal that feels steady and reliable, and the more you follow it, the more accurate it proves to be. This sharpened intuition becomes a form of protection. It keeps you from re-entering cycles that once exhausted you emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. You recognize familiar patterns early and step away before they repeat. You stop investing time, energy, and emotion into people, places, and plans that are misaligned with your growth. What once drained you now repels you. You also begin to notice how clearly you can read timing. You sense when to act and when to wait. You no longer force progress. Instead, you move when alignment feels right, and that movement produces results with far less effort than before. This intuition does not make you impulsive, it makes you precise. Your confidence grows, not because everything is perfect, but because you trust yourself again. You no longer need constant reassurance. You no longer doubt every decision. Even when challenges arise, you feel grounded enough to navigate them without panic. Another powerful effect of this miracle is emotional detachment from chaos. You stop absorbing other people's stress, confusion, or negativity. You can be present without being pulled off balance. This emotional boundary strengthens your clarity even further. Your intuition becomes a compass. It points you away from distractions and toward what truly matters. It guides you toward conversations that expand you and away from those that shrink you. It helps you recognize opportunities that align with your long-term path, not just short-term comfort. And most importantly, it does not lead you wrong. December 14th marks the moment you stop outsourcing your inner knowing. You realize that the answers you have been searching for externally have always existed within you. Now, that voice is clear, steady, and impossible to ignore. This miracle does not make life easier in every moment. It makes life cleaner, more intentional, more aligned, and that clarity protects you in ways you may not fully understand yet. But you will feel its impact in every decision you make moving forward. Chosen ones often move through life quietly, working tirelessly behind the scenes, giving more than they receive, and remaining authentic even when the world rewards performance over substance. They are overlooked, not because they lack talent or value, but because they refuse to become loud, fake, or performative simply to get attention. Their contributions are real, but subtle. Their energy is genuine, not designed to impress. For years, this can feel frustrating. You give, you create, you strive, yet acknowledgement seems scarce. And sometimes, it feels as though the world simply does not see you. December 14th changes this. On this day, the universe begins to shift the dynamic. The energy that allowed you to remain invisible, protecting your true self, refining your skills quietly, now works in your favor. Recognition no longer requires chasing. It begins to find you organically. People notice the dedication, integrity, and consistency you have maintained without fanfare. Your presence carries a resonance that others cannot ignore. It may happen subtly, a message, an opportunity, or a quiet acknowledgement, or more overtly, as public recognition of your work or achievements. Regardless of the form, it is undeniable. The miracle here is not just in being seen. It is in self-worth without effort. For so long, you may have questioned your value, assuming that if recognition did not arrive, it meant you were lacking. December 14th reminds you that your value has never depended on others' attention. You were never invisible. You were being preserved. Every delay, every moment of being overlooked, served a purpose. It allowed you to grow without distraction, to refine your craft, and to align with the opportunities and people that truly match your energy. Now, the right eyes are finally on you. They see your work, your energy, and your presence as it always was: powerful, consistent, and authentic. This recognition comes without effort because the universe has aligned circumstances to highlight your path. You no longer need to push or persuade. Your efforts have matured to a point where they naturally attract acknowledgement. This shift has a profound effect on confidence. You begin to trust your own value instead of seeking constant validation. You recognize that external recognition is not just about reward. It is a signal of alignment, a confirmation that you are stepping into your purpose. It changes the way you operate in the world. You continue your work with focus and integrity, now bolstered by the certainty that it is being noticed by the right people at the right time. Recognition without chasing also reshapes relationships and opportunities. Doors that once remained closed begin to open, and influential people start gravitating toward your energy. Offers, collaborations, and invitations arrive without desperation or push. The timing feels organic because it is aligned with your growth and readiness. December 14th signals the moment when your energy and efforts are finally acknowledged without compromise. It restores balance. Your dedication meets visibility, and your authenticity meets appreciation. You realize that recognition is not about proving yourself. It is about being fully seen for who you truly are. This miracle marks the shift from unnoticed effort to undeniable presence, and it changes how you navigate the world from this point forward. Life has a way of making us question the timing of events. We wonder why doors closed, why relationships ended, why opportunities slipped through our fingers. We may even blame ourselves for the delays, the missed chances, and the detours. But there are moments when the universe shifts in a way that suddenly makes all of these delays and disruptions make sense. December 14th is one of those moments, a day when a timeline correction occurs, realigning your past experiences, present actions, and future possibilities. For chosen ones, delays have rarely been punishment. They have been preparation, protection, and refinement. What felt like setbacks, failures, or detours were actually lessons disguised as obstacles. They were shaping your resilience, sharpening your insight, and teaching you to trust your own inner compass. On December 14th, this pattern becomes clear. What once seemed frustrating or meaningless now reveals its purpose. A failed project, a lost connection, or an abandoned path suddenly shows its value in the way it guided you toward growth and awareness. This miracle has a subtle but profound effect. It brings a deep internal knowing. You stop mourning lost time. You stop feeling as if you are behind or that others are ahead of you in some unfair race. Instead, you understand that everything unfolded in the only sequence that could produce who you are right now. Every experience, even the painful or confusing ones, contributed to your current readiness. You are no longer carrying regret for the past because the past has been corrected in your perception, and its lessons are now clear. Relationships that ended reveal their purpose. People who left your life were not failures. They were guides, catalysts, or teachers. Paths you abandoned are blessings in disguise, opening space for new opportunities that align with your growth. Decisions that once seemed like mistakes now make sense as necessary steps in the larger plan of your life. Even events that cause disappointment or heartbreak carry hidden value. December 14th illuminates these patterns, allowing you to see the hidden architecture of your journey. This realization cultivates confidence, but not arrogance. It is grounded certainty, the kind of understanding that does not need external validation. You know you are exactly where you are meant to be. You know that the effort, patience, and endurance you invested were never wasted. You begin to approach decisions, opportunities, and challenges with clarity, trusting the flow of life rather than forcing outcomes. A timeline correction also influences your future. By realigning past events with your present understanding, it creates a sense of momentum. You no longer hesitate because you are afraid of repeating mistakes. You no longer second-guess your instincts or your judgment. The correction shows you that timing matters, and that every step now carries more weight because it is built on a foundation of wisdom and experience. December 14th is not just a day of insight, it is a day of liberation. You are freed from the heavy burden of what could have been, and are invited to step confidently into what is possible. The past has served its purpose, and now your energy is fully available for what comes next. You move forward with intention, with clarity, and with a sense of inevitability. This miracle, the correction of your timeline, assures you that your journey has been exactly as it should have been, and the next chapter is ready to unfold precisely as it was meant to. This is the most important miracle of all. December 14th is not just another day, it is a threshold, a pivotal moment when the energy of transformation becomes undeniable. For chosen ones, this day signals the end of one chapter and the quiet, irreversible beginning of another. The version of yourself that has survived struggle, endured hardships, and navigated uncertainty has completed its assignment. That version has served its purpose. Now, it is time for something new to emerge. This is a new chapter, and it begins quietly but permanently. Unlike sudden, dramatic shifts that can feel destabilizing, this transition is steady, subtle, and profoundly grounding. You may not notice it all at once, but over time, you will sense the difference in how you experience life. The world itself hasn't changed. Your perception and your interaction with it have. One of the first signs is a shift in priorities. What once mattered, the pursuit of approval, the need to keep up with expectations, or the compulsion to prove yourself, no longer feels urgent. Instead, your focus naturally aligns with what truly serves your growth, happiness, and purpose. You start investing energy in meaningful projects, relationships, and personal development. You notice how certain distractions no longer hold sway over your decisions because they simply do not resonate with your new trajectory. Another sign is less tolerance for chaos and drama. Situations that once consumed your attention or drained your energy now feel irrelevant. You are no longer willing to participate in cycles of confusion, manipulation, or unnecessary conflict. This is not avoidance, it is discernment. You recognize that your time and energy are valuable, and you are unwilling to waste them on anything that does not contribute to your higher path. Along with this comes a stronger sense of direction. Clarity replaces uncertainty. Decisions that once felt overwhelming now feel instinctual. You understand the steps you need to take, and you move with intention rather than hesitation. Even when challenges arise, you approach them from a position of grounded confidence, aware that every obstacle is part of the natural flow of this new chapter. You will also notice a desire for peace over proving anything. The need to compete, to be seen, or to validate your worth externally diminishes. You no longer define yourself by others' opinions or by external markers of success. Instead, you value alignment, stability, and authenticity. Peace becomes your priority, and in choosing it, you naturally attract situations and people that reflect the same energy. This is not boredom. This is elevation. You are not stepping into a quieter life because you have given up. You are stepping into a higher frequency of existence because your energy has matured. People, habits, and environments that no longer match your vibration begin to fall away on their own. You do not need to force separation or make dramatic exits. The universe orchestrates these shifts naturally. What replaces what has fallen away feels aligned, stable, and intentional. Opportunities arrive that are in harmony with your growth. Relationships deepen where mutual respect and understanding exist. Habits that elevate your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being become effortless. You are no longer chasing alignment. You are living in it. This is not a temporary phase. It is a new operating system. Your old patterns, limitations, and reactions are no longer in control. You operate from a state of elevated consciousness, clarity, and self-awareness. The version of you that emerges after December 14th is stronger, wiser, and more attuned to your highest purpose. In this new chapter, life is no longer a struggle to survive. It is an opportunity to thrive. You move forward with confidence, guided by your refined intuition, free from unnecessary burdens, and ready to embrace the alignment, opportunities, and relationships that reflect your true self. December 14th marks the day this chapter officially begins, and once it does, there is no turning back. You have crossed the threshold, and the life that awaits is yours to step into fully and fearlessly. December 14th is your turning point. The resistance ends, hidden doors open, emotional weight lifts, intuition sharpens, recognition finds you, timelines correct themselves, and a new chapter begins. These miracles are not random. They are your birthright, reserved for chosen ones ready to rise. The universe is aligning to guide you toward your highest path, but it requires awareness and action. Step into this energy fully. Trust your instincts, embrace the changes, and allow the blessings to flow. Remember, your new life starts now. You are ready, you are seen, and this is just the beginning.